that fellow really didn't want to work. I mean, he made no bones about, we were there that he
And here we are.
but
I guess we're up and running.
So yes, there's a lot
Hi,
of
guys.
managers who don't want to work hard, but it was great for a while with the previous manager at at Marie Callender's. But then COVID came, he had to leave, and then somebody new came in who just didn't want to be. Hi, Judith.
Hi, Judith.
Who just didn't want to be bothered and blah blah blah. So now we're still looking for a place because Panera wouldn't do it, and the manager at Patty's wants to, but it's corporate who doesn't want to allow us. Corporate.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So he's.
What about Street Cafe in Tarzana?
That's a long way out.
Outdoor patios, beautiful.
It's a long way out. Tarzana. Yeah. I mean, I think that I have no idea. I'm at a loss. It's amazing that we can't find a place to.
We tried to find a central place.
It's
in
nutty.
Our area, we kept finding these places that were close to us and central, but parking was a situation.
Anyway, but probably we should get started, Elaine.
Yeah, okay.
Or we have, I guess, one more minute
we have
before.
1 more minute to chit chat. Yay!
That's right. Did you connect with Brian Covarrubias?
He was supposed to call me back. Now, just a point of clarification: is he willing to help us for free, or would we be hiring him?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
What about Denny's?
Well, I don't know. Do they have anywhere where we could meet? I mean, is there a separate room or?
There's a whole outdoor patio.
Is there? Well,
Which one?
The only one I know is the one in North Hollywood. That was where I was supposed to have my birthday party last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that's a good idea.
I like Denny's food.
So who should check?
I'll call them
Okay.
tomorrow morning.
Great. Terrific.
I like Denny's food, especially their breakfast.
Yeah, and then, for certain persons, there's a little discount.
Great.
Well, that would be
good.
I mean, if they would do it for us and break up the bill, that would be amazing.
That'd be swell. But now,
like
am I on Mr. Sci-Fi? Are you getting the feed, Adam? Or
yeah, I got it.
Okay. Do we have anyone on board yet?
No one watching.
That's weird. I guess because we told them we were going to meet in person the following week, they all bailed.
Mark double checked. Mark double checked Panera in case he could talk.
Yeah, I actually went in there and talked to them, and they told me to go, peddle my papers.
Yeah.
So,
I also after Howard, was turned down by via corporate Patty's. I called afterwards, and the manager really wanted us.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's jump in.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
We go.
Okay. Welcome to the table. Welcome to the table. Welcome to Mr. Sci-Fi. A lot is happening. We've announced the premiere of the Space Command 2-hour pilot, which will be at the world famous Chinese Theater in Hollywood, July 21st, the evening of July 21st. And it's going to be an amazing experience. You can go on Mr. Sci-Fi, watch my video talking about it. And our actors will be there. Our creatives will be there. Our team will be there. It's going to be a phenomenal evening. So there you go. So I guess, Adam, you're at the top of my screen. Do you want to take your turn and we'll go from there?
Sure. I
Okay,
can go
great.
first.
Sure.
Hi everyone. Again, you guys all know me. In case there's anyone watching on Mr. Sci-Fi that doesn't, I am Adam Sartain. I'm an actor, a voice actor with over 78 different voices, accents, and impressions. It slices, it dices, and it makes different types of coleslaw.
Well, there you go.
And I'm also an associate producer on Space.
Man. Yeah.
So it's been an interesting week. I got a call back.
Yay.
Commercial again. It's like I keep booking these commercials.
Wow!
Well,
Congratulations.
Okay, great.
So hopefully I book it from the callback.
Great. Good luck. Good luck.
Oh, fingers crossed.
But there were quite a few people in the callback, so I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
But just getting a callback is very, very fun.
Yes, very much so.
And I helped out Michelle Hart earlier today. She had an audio audition.
Okay.
And I have my little audio set up here, so she doesn't have any sort of audio set up.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So I helped her with that.
Cool.
And else? I had submitted my pilot, my family sitcom pilot,
Mm-hmm.
To another one of those writing contests.
Yes.
This was through Legion M. And I just found that they just announced the quarterfinalists, and I was not among them.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So,
that sucks,
bad news.
bastards.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's funny. Everyone I've showed to thought it was good. I don't know what's wrong with it. But
Well, there ain't no
this is the
justice.
second time it has not, received any recognition. So.
Well, I mean, I haven't been entering contests, but I know people who have submitted really good stuff, and then I read the winners, and it's very rare that I'm not like, what the hell? This is the winner, So
Yeah.
I don't always understand contests. It's like the winner is somebody I say, but this isn't even competent, and I knew that some of the. So I don't understand contests sometimes. I just don't.
Yeah. So so anything else you need, Adam?
So just what's it called? A shoulder to cry on. But...
Yeah. We'll just.
Did you make any headway with the white nationalists thing?
Oh God. Jesus.
Yeah. Last I heard, they had one of our cast members had been talking with someone at the ACLU, and that lawyer had said they're confident that not only can we get our rights for the videos,
yes,
but we can also claim the rights to the show itself.
Wow.
And we can maybe we can actually tweak it and make it into what should and could be.
Well,
wow.
Fingers crossed.
What an adventure.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anything else for now?
Yeah, let's see. We've got we do have a question.
Okay.
Hayes 494.
Great, terrific. Hi.
He says, did you see the latest episode of Strange New Worlds and where the crew are turned into children book characters?
No, I haven't.
Review season 3 of the Orville.
Yeah, and I'll review season 3 of the Orville, but I find I haven't watched season 2, and so to get things in context, I think I'm gonna have to watch season 2. But it's on the list. So yeah, great. So Carol, you're next on my screen.
Sure, unless anybody wants to go, I'm usually not unless anyone needs to go. Who's calling in from Switzerland? No, okay.
Nope.
Not yet.
Nope.
Okay, Adam, when you both said you don't know about contests, I was reminded of I was a little ballroom champion in Michigan as a child. They used to pin the numbers on our back. And as I look back and go, who were the people that won? And I would place, but a lot of the people who won were absolutely the showiest. Yes. Yeah, the real friggin' peacocks. I know. So I don't know how that is be translated into writing stuff, but I remember, the ones who had stage mothers were big ones. Susie, put a bigger bow in your hair.
That's
crazy.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, one of the quarterfinalists was Ganja Grandma. Come on.
Jesus.
Well, yeah. I used to be forced to, because you're supposed to volunteer, but you weren't volunteering. In high school, they'd make you attend these drama contests, school to school, and I kept placing. I was first year. Once I was third. Once I was second. But that didn't impress me because I'd be watching other people's work, and the very best actors never even placed. And it wasn't that the winners were weak, which they were, but I mean, I could have accepted, okay, they're weak, bad taste, but that some actors that I thought, if only I could be that good, wouldn't even place. And I never understood.
Yes.
I thought, so when they give me my little prize, I think I don't value this because you don't know what you're doing.
Well, that was, yeah. So, okay. Well, great. So anything else, Carol, or what do you?
Yeah, no, I do.
Let's.
Okay.
Coming year, it looks like when I'm a little more conscientious or less conscientious willing to go out because of the COVID thing, I really might go back to auditions because I just miss it a lot. I seem to
sure.
Good for you.
Because of you all. So, couple things. Yeah. This Darling, I guess what is he? A script doctor in Texas. Got my horror film. And he's so sweet. We spent an hour and a half, and he didn't do anything on content. It was all on structure, which is something that I needed too. Even though I didn't understand it, because when I have I gave it to someone else to put in final draft, so it should have been like right there. But still, he had some really nice, it was some, and he didn't charge me. He just does it on the side, and he finds a script. He was a total sweetheart. But he did say something interesting.
Oh, good.
He said, what do you think about this? He said, if you want to sell your script at your level to these guys reading it, you better put in a lot of sex and violence.
Oh no.
I mean,
Not my style.
No.
look.
No.
The only point in writing, unless you're a total hack, is to tell a story truthful to your personality and aesthetic and history. That's all. I mean, and so all of these idiots who say, oh, you have to do this or that or this or that, all these stupid pieces of advice that render something a piece of crap are meaningless, because it doesn't increase its chances of selling, and I've never seen someone write against their own aesthetic and have it work. You know, I've never seen that happen.
The only thing you want to do is, to the people to whom you're submitting, make a list of the people where you think the aesthetic is spot on, where you really enjoy the movie. Plus, it's popular, right?
Well, yeah.
But the thing isn't to write down. The thing is to be selective as to where you send your script, and you find people who aren't overloading it with sex and violence, but who have really just solid, good writing, and submit to them because they'll appreciate it. But there's always the schlockmeisters, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Of course.
there's plenty of competition in the schlockmeister field. So
Well,
besides,
yes.
you'll break your soul.
Yes.
Really, but thank you, because he was so helpful, and all of a sudden they said, well, by the way, like, oh, are we losing our credibility?
Well,
Oh,
has he successfully sold horror films?
No, but he was a script doctor. He was like the main one in Texas.
Well, look, I mean, I'm no fan of script doctors. I mean, with script doctors, do you mean he just gives notes, or do you mean he actually rewrites scripts that get shot as movies?
Gave notes.
Yeah, well, again, what are his credentials? Has he ever written anything and sold it? I mean, what gives him, legitimacy? It's just a question. I mean, I'm not meaning to,
No.
piss all over him, but
I sort of drank the Kool-Aid, and he told me of this, that, the other. He's an engineer by trade, and he was really commenting on my structure.
Okay,
So,
well, that's you should talk to HR.
Pardon?
When you said he commented on my structure, I was saying you should talk to HR.
I think it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, that's out of line. But seriously, I mean, it's like, look, it always goes back to, what is your objective? Is your objective to get a movie made, a movie sold? What is, it's like you need to be advised by people who've either successfully done it or advise people who've successfully done it, because otherwise, what's the point? It's just, sort of hermetically sealed.
I was getting off on his acceptance in a way.
Yes, and that's not invalid. I mean, we all need just praise, but if that's the end goal, then that's fine, but I don't know.
Yes. No, thank you. One other real quick thing.
Sure.
When someone wants a written pitch, not a verbal pitch,
Yes.
is there a difference in how you should tailor that?
If they want a written pitch instead of a verbal pitch, I don't know. I mean, I just try and write something that's entertaining. I mean, for me, in my career, let's put it this way. When I was pitching to TV series like Star Trek or whatever, I would just go and pitch it verbally. I would write it for my own edification, but I would pitch it verbally. Everything else that I've written for myself, I write the entire script. I don't pitch it before it's ready to go.
But written pitches are hard. The reason that they're really hard is you can't be theatrical. You can't show the emotion. You can't. And so basically, what you're trying to do is to really capture people who are reading and are starting to numb out. Right? There's no personality exchange. So you're saying, okay, here's somebody who's having to read, and they're going numb. So it becomes more difficult. I mean, we've included, when we've done Bibles, we included pictures, just anything to give them a break. Here's a picture of the character, here's this, and try and make it as true to the tone of the final product as possible. If it's supposed to be funny, we try and make the pitch really funny. If it's supposed to be dramatic or sad, we make the pitch really dramatic or sad. And it just anything that would help these poor people, putting ourselves in their shoes where they're just reading until they're numb. We would try and make it jump off the page.
That's really helpful.
So
Pushing it a little bit more than you would normally.
Yes, exactly.
So-
Because picture yourself in their chair, and what would wake you up.
Yeah. So any other questions, Carol? Anything else?
No, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, great. Yay. So Adam, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes. Our next question is a Scott Baker question.
Hello, Scott.
And he says, are you keeping up with the news about the Google employee placed on leave after declaring that he'd had meaningful conversations about AI rights with a Google-made AI?
Yeah, well, he claimed that it had achieved sentience. And I've heard a little bit about it, but not a lot. I mean, again, the thing that I find so alarming about robots and AI in the real world is, back, what was it, like 60, 70 years ago or more, Isaac Asimov came up with the 3 laws of robotics, which you basically program into every robot so they don't turn against you. That it's hardwired into them. They have to protect humans. They have to, sacrifice themselves if a human is in danger, all this stuff. And they can't injure a human by action or inaction. I think this should be in every robot and AI that we build now in the real world, because it's like, there's nothing to stop these guys from wiping out humanity. They'll have no allegiance to us and no affection for us. And I think it's risky, extremely risky. But whether or not that AI achieves sentience, see, the illusion of sentience, if it's really a good illusion, will be as convincing as actual sentience. So
Well,
I
you
think
probably heard about those 2 computers who were talking to each other, and they couldn't get them to stop, and they stopped understanding what they were saying to each
they
other.
created their own language that only they could understand, and so they had to turn them off
They turned them off. They couldn't stop.
because they didn't know what they were saying to each other.
Yeah, they just they linked in, and they just created their own language and kept on talking to each other, and they got scared and they unplugged them.
Yep. So
The power of the plug.
yeah, so there you go. So Judith, I guess you're next on my
Hey,
screen.
Judith, how are the little guys?
Oh, you have to unmute.
I'm so tired I can't see. The children woke me up at 5 o'clock this morning.
The dogs.
dear.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
children, I had washed the blanket, the towel they sleep on, and it was outside drying. And I put a flannelette sheet that I've had for 100 years. They didn't like that. They woke me up at 5 o'clock in the morning barking because mommy changed the So I started writing out some stuff to do. I had a call back.
Great.
Oh, really?
Which is nice. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Terrific.
And I'm training them. They're coming along. They're coming along.
Good.
But I want to say something, guys. I really think it's amazing. You guys are amazing and are an inspiration to us all.
Thanks.
Just keep on plugging.
Yes.
Just keep on plugging. And every time I flag, I think of you, and I give myself a kick in the patootie. And since I have a very large patootie, that's a pretty big kick.
Great. Well,
I just wanted to say that. I think it's wonderful.
well, thanks, Judith. That's appreciated. And by the way, this Saturday will be our 45th wedding anniversary.
Oh my God!
Isn't that great?
Mazel tov.
And she's still the best part of every
I couldn't
day.
even handle it for 15 years.
Yeah, well, there you go. But 45 years, it's incredible. So it's I consider myself a very, very, very lucky person. So Elaine can speak for herself whether she agrees with that opinion. But my life was blessed the moment I met her. So there you go.
Do your little guys like the blanket I brought from our guys?
Oh yeah. They keep
Well-
crawling on the couch.
Good.
Well, then that's a good
I don't want to
substitute.
put it in their crate because I'm afraid they'll pee on it.
Well, then
They
you.
haven't quite gotten through that yet.
Okay.
Right.
They're still only 4 months old.
Right. Yeah.
Take them next week to the vet, and they'll get their shots, and then a week and a half later they can go outside.
Oh,
Sure.
boy. Okay.
Sounds great.
Yay.
Sounds great. Okay, cool. So anything else for now?
Anything you need?
Okay.
Okay,
Yay! 3 cheers.
yay.
So, Adam, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes, we got a little quick one from Mark Lungo.
Hello, Mark.
He says he finally got Greenlighting Yourself.
Ah,
And
Good.
do you have any plans for your next book yet?
No, I actually am not sure what my next book will be. It's funny because I just, I mean, I'm going to put the book I wrote about my mom up somewhere where people can buy it and read it and all that. Because I'm, it's the one book I wrote that hasn't been out in the public. And I also want to put Magic Time back on, where people can get it and all that stuff. But in terms of what I'm going to write next, I don't know. I don't know yet. It's just kind of, I never.
I have an idea.
Yes, go
Yes.
ahead.
Yellow lighting yourself.
Sure.
Yellow lighting means proceed with caution before you leap.
Well,
An idea.
I give that one to you, David. I give that one to you, David. It's, red lighting yourself is also where you just stop. You
I'm
do.
not suggesting that one.
Yeah, well, but I think, it's, I just wanted to codify, I've talked in the past about writing a book about my friendship with Ray Bradbury, but I actually included a lot of those stories in Greenlighting Yourself. And, and I started working on the 4th Magic Time novel, but I'm not going to write that until we've done the show and so forth. So, but you never know what occurs to you. Something comes to mind and you just fall in love with it, and and then off you go. So we'll see. I'm always going to keep writing books one way or another, and I really like alternating between fiction and nonfiction, because for instance, like I wasn't going to write other books about TV shows after The Twilight Zone Companion, because I wrote The Twilight Zone Companion to learn how to do television, how to make television, not to endlessly write, the Outer Limits Companion or the Alfred Hitchcock Presents Companion or the Green Acres Companion or whatever. But though the success of The Twilight Zone Companion is what allowed those books to be saleable, because prior to the Twilight Zone book, it was almost impossible to sell a book about a TV show that was no longer on network.
I would read the Green Acres Companion.
Me too. Well, I actually interviewed Richard L. Bear, who directed not only Twilight Zone, but he also directed every episode of Green Acres. And I love Green Acres. It's one of my favorite shows. And I said to him, what was the greatest challenge in directing Green Acres? And he said, staying awake. So... But he lived past 100. He was remarkable. I mean, amazing guy. We knew when he was 100. You never would have guessed. You would have thought the guy was maybe an extremely healthy guy in maybe his early 70s. I mean, it was amazing. He walked without a cane. I mean, he had an energy, really, really amazing. I think he lived till like 102 or 103. But yeah, quite something. So yeah, let's see. Where are we now? I've lost Thane. I guess it's Thane's turn. So Thane, go for it.
Good afternoon. Here we are in beautiful downtown Pasadena.
Great.
It's been a pretty quiet week. No auditions, no self-submits. So keep plugging away at a long list of chores to get done, both creatively, working on my show, and trying to do a PowerPoint piece where there's a voice that goes with each page of it, and the WAV files sound great, and when I put them into the PowerPoint, it sounds like they're in an echo chamber.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know if it's a memory issue or on the part of the computer, or
I can help you with that.
Cool.
Great, thank you.
Oddly enough, I was about to ask David, could you help him with that?
That's volunteer daily.
Okay. So what else? Anything else, Thane?
I went to We Make Movies last night. Had their first in-person event in 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
At W Hotel in Hollywood, where a beer was $19, and obviously I didn't buy a beer. They settled for a free glass of water. Pine Tree Close, we used to go at in high school. But we were supposed to meet on the roof, which is a very nice bar up there and gardens and actually with a swimming pool. But because of the threat of lightning, they
Oh, wow, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
required us to meet in the lobby downstairs.
Hmm.
And at the same time, there was a shooting on the sidewalk. I don't know if it's on Hollywood Boulevard or on the street at east of there. But anyway, you couldn't get into the hotel through the front door. You had to
Man.
go around,
Oh my gosh.
police everywhere.
Hmm.
So that was the exciting part of starting it off.
Mhm.
Turns out there was also a group of agents, managers, and casting directors holding their first event in many years, sharing much of the same space. And they were over one side, we were on the other side, but inevitably the crowd began to mix. And two different managers and two different agents asked me if I was representative, would I be interested in talking to them?
Huh.
I said, we've got a good manager, got a good agent, right? But it seemed like they are starting to look for talent and people to add to their stable. So
Great.
that I took that as a good time.
That's
Good.
great.
Good.
Sign. And then a cinematographer who shoots a lot of music videos and commercials, but is trying to get into narrative filmmaking. Came over and said, "Would you mind if I took your picture? I'm doing a music video, and you're just the perfect guy to be in this music video."
Huh.
So,
That's funny.
I don't know what will come of that. And then as the crowd sort of spilled over, there was a couple there from, well, they said they were from Brooklyn, but it turns out they live in South Florida. But they're on a road trip in the West from New Mexico through the Grand Canyon up to Yosemite and San Francisco, back to LA and down to San Diego. And they were sort of overwhelmed by all this commotion going on. And kind of looked at me, can you rescue us? Because we don't know what's going on here. So I wandered over and got to talking with, he's an insurance salesman and whatever. But they were just thrilled to be surrounded by all this Hollywood talent. You're an actor? Wow. What movies have you been in? And I said, all you have to do is ask the next waiter. More than likely.
Yeah.
So that, it's always fun to deal with the civilians.
Yes.
And pick up on what they're observing. One of my jobs is a certified tour director. And you get a busload of 55 people from Nebraska. And first of all, they want to find the Peachtree Bar on Melrose. Can we go to zip code 90120 or 90210?
90210, yeah.
The Hollywood sign. And then they want to walk Rodeo Drive and go to the hotel where Pretty Woman is. And inevitably, there's a film crew working somewhere, and you can just feel the bus sort of list over to that side. Ooh, wow, there's a camera. That looks like, whatever. And then on Rodeo Drive, they can actually spot a star. So it's just interesting that we take all this stuff for granted.
Yes.
Day in and day out, and it is magic.
Yes.
And what keeps me more entertained than not on TV these days is figuring out where the location is of that particular scene.
Yeah. Well, it's funny thing because I don't actually take it for granted. I'm always thrilled by this stuff. I mean, when I see, a crew shooting a movie or a TV show or even a commercial, I'm thrilled by it. I feel like I've grown up in the land of Oz, really, because I mean, it's because most people, when they watch a TV show or movie, it's sort of like a one-way window, and but for us who live here, particularly who work in the industry, like I'll watch a movie and it's like, okay, there may be actors in it that I know personally, or I may on the video, the commentary or whatever, the extras, I'll know some of those writers or directors or whomever. It was funny, we went to the Academy Museum the other day because it was Angelique's birthday, and we took her, and they had an exhibit on Psycho, the movie Psycho, and and it was based on a novel by Robert Bloch, and the screenplay was by the great Joe Stefano, and I knew both of them. I talked to both of them about writing Psycho, and so it's always like I mean, Robert Bloch corresponded when he was young with H.P. Lovecraft. I mean, that I asked him what was Lovecraft like. I mean, amazing stuff. So I don't take any of this for granted. I think it's miraculous, and I'm so grateful that we live in a time when there's an art form that we can do that reaches around the world. Because I think we're so far ahead of the poor stage actors from time immemorial to the 19th century, where you hear that they were terrific, like Edwin Booth or Burbage or whatever, and we'll never know, because we can't experience them directly. Whereas, of course, Humphrey Bogart, we can watch The African Queen, Katharine Hepburn. I mean, we can see their work and see how spectacular they are. So yeah.
The greatest Hamlet was apparently done by Sarah Bernhardt.
Well, I don't know about that. But I've heard that John Barrymore's John Barrymore's Hamlet, by all accounts, was spectacular.
And
So
we get a glimpse of John Barrymore's Hamlet in a comedy piece.
he did years later when he was really a washed-up drunk. But
and they were going to shoot.
he was supposed to camp it up, but instead he did it for real,
Well,
and
he
it was
slipped into it.
It was great.
He slipped into it for real,
It was
and
just
it was
great.
just it's supposed to be like doing this comedy thing about the famous speech, and he just started doing it. And it was sort of like, oh my god.
Yeah, you saw the flash of it. It was phenomenal. But yes. So anything else, Thane? Anything else you need?
So I got a table read of my one-man show coming up.
Great.
July 20th, and the script that was written for me and an actress that I know from the movies. We're going to do a table read of that.
Okay.
Sometime in July.
Great.
And hopefully August when it's nice and cool. And, so just keep marching on. And see
Cool.
what develops.
Okay. Well, yay! 3 cheers. Excellent. So, Adam, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes, we have a question from Gregory Krug.
Okay. Hi, Greg.
He says, "Are there going to be any Mr. Politics videos coming up soon?"
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing one that I would call the solution to everything. Because I've been thinking about a lot of this stuff. Like, for instance, this whole nonsense with Trump claiming he won the election and all this stuff, and all of these people in the Republican Party restating that lie. All these politicians take an oath to the Constitution. And I think that if you're actively trying to overthrow the government of the United States, if you're actively trying to undermine the validity of our elections, you should be disqualified from running for office. It's not a minor thing. It's huge. And and there's a whole variety of things where I would just say, this is my opinion. This is like, for instance, with the Supreme Court. How do you fix the Supreme Court? Well, let's look into impeaching Supreme Court justices. I mean, these guys are way off the rail. They're, for them to say that they're not activist judges, for them to say that they are not pursuing an extreme right-wing agenda is nonsense. And the fact that the Republican Party refused to even interview Merrick Garland when he was a Supreme Court justice, that alone should have disqualified every Supreme Court justice named after that, because the system had broken down. I mean, I'm not going to go into too much politics on all this stuff because I try and keep politics out of the table and politics out of Mr. Sci-Fi. But yes, I will be doing a Mr. Politics video very, very soon. And for those who don't know, I have a Mr. Politics channel as well, and it's got dozens of followers as opposed to Mr. Sci-Fi, which is closing in on 100,000 subscribers. But anyway, there you go. So now we have the wonderful Dave Edison, the inimitable Dave Edison.
Hello, everyone. How's my sound?
You sound great.
Good.
Good to know. Well, hi. So let's see. So have you? I was on the phone with David Bartlett there.
Cool.
As the table started.
Great.
Did you mention your big announcement?
What's your big announcement, David?
No. Did you mention your? Big
Oh, me.
announcement?
Oh, well, yeah, I did. We're having the premiere of the first 2 hours of Space Command at the Chinese Theater, the evening of July 21st. It's going to be phenomenal. And then
And we're going to show something there too.
yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might not be finished, but it'll be pretty close.
It'll be very close. And you know.
And so I'm working on some notes right now that
Great.
Mark sent forth.
Cool.
Some of the video noise, reduce some of that. DaVinci Resolve has a pretty amazing video noise filter.
Great.
So that does not change the color, David.
Great.
So anyways, we're working on things like that. So we're hoping to have that done, and shortly thereafter, hopefully Blu-rays, DVDs. Let's see what I got. I finally got a copy of this. This is
Oh yeah, the movie you're in.
Yay.
Yes.
The Blu-ray release of Steel and Lace,
Cool.
which I do have a part in, and I was credited as a co-writer on from 1990, and they brushed this up very nicely. Previous to this, I had it on VHS, and of course, Laserdisc. This is a much smaller, high-resolution Laserdisc.
Great.
Anyway, so
Yay, okay.
this is actually, I am a co-writer on this, but it's actually Joseph Dougherty's screenplay.
Yes.
If you'd like to listen to a really good interview with a really great writer,
Mm.
then you can go to, let me look this up, make sure I have this right. If you go to, I'll find it. If you go to Scott Ryan Productions, Scott Ryan, RYAN Productions.com, and go over to the blog, Joe Dougherty has a really great interview on writing and things you won't hear elsewhere. So tune into that.
Great.
I know there was something else to mention, but I can't remember what it is because I'm just flooded with Space Command.
Yay.
Yay.
Well, you're doing.
So anyway, so we're working hard on this, and for
Yes.
those of you here on Zoom, I'm looking off camera here to work on these two monitors here with the new computer that we've gotten for Space Command, which is pretty damn amazing. And
Great.
so moving forward.
That's
and
great.
We will see you soon.
Okay, 3 cheers, Dave. So, Adam, what's the next Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yeah, we do got one. First, for those in the Zoom, I put the direct link in the chat there for you. For that interview. That,
Cool. Great.
Dave was talking about.
Thanks.
And I forgot to mention one little thing during my turn. I did do stand-up again.
Yay.
Yay, okay.
Great.
So it was a open mic, so not a lot of laughs because the audience is the other comics.
Yes.
But I got a few chuckles, so
Good.
I was happy with it.
Oh, good.
Anyway, our next question is another Scott Baker question.
Great. Hi, Scott.
And he wants to know, do you ever lose hope in humanity and wish you could just wink out of existence? If not, why not? And what, aside from your marriage, sustains you?
Well, I'm living the dream. I mean, I wanted, like when Star Trek came out and I read the making of Star Trek, I dreamed. And when I went on the Star Trek set when I was a kid, I dreamed of being part of this world, and I got it. I got to be part of this world. I mean, I had my first radio play, which I just discovered a full copy of. That aired on when I was 18. I sold my first short story at 19. I was writing my first book at 21, 22, the Twilight Zone book, and writing for TV by the time I was 22 or 23. I mean, and here I am, all these years later, still doing it. I mean, I get to have a conversation with the world, and I've gotten to meet and be friends with many of my heroes, and I have wonderful Elaine to work with and share this life with. I mean, I don't have a lot of complaints. I mean, it's I think that this life is a miracle. I think that I've been given this amazing gift, and so I don't. I'm not a pessimist. My mom certainly was not a pessimist. I was raised by her, and she was the most joyful person I ever met in my life. Joyful in the moment, despite terrible things that had happened to her in her life. So, I mean, who knows what would happen if I had several really bad bounces? You never know. But, I have no complaints. I always tell people this is the happiest time of my life, and it is. I mean, to be working on Space Command, to be doing all these cool things, and life is quite wonderful. I think in terms of the cruelty that people do to each other, the terrible wars and all the things going on in the world, yes, you can despair, but one thing I've discovered from travel is that when I actually go places, it's not like the news. The news focuses on the negative, but in reality, most people are doing okay. I mean, most people have loving families, most people have community, most people have connection, most people find value in their life one way or another. It may not be 100% of their life. They may work a job they hate, but they go home and they have kids that they love, or whatever. I think it's incumbent on us to be kind, and I think the compassion is what heals the world, active compassion. And I mean, there's always going to be stupidity, there's always going to be venality, but I try not to live my life from those places, so.
There's a wonderful British film about someone who
Happy-Go-Lucky, right?
Happy-Go-Lucky.
It's directed by Mike Lee. It's about someone terminally happy.
It's someone who always seems happy, and then we find out that she's going through and been through tremendously hard times.
Yes.
She chooses to be happy.
It's a deliberate choice, and it's not an easy choice. She has to fight for it.
It's the courage of,
it's great. It's a great movie.
Hold of hope and
Yeah.
hanging on.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, Bonnie, you're next on my screen if you want to take your turn. Well, yeah, but we're going. Yeah.
Okay, good to
Right back.
see everybody today, and yeah, wow, the Space Command
Yay.
screening, that sounds really cool.
Yes.
Tuition, anyway, everything coming together and all the work on Space Command, wow.
Yeah.
I'm keeping busy with different projects. I'm working on songs with Ben Clark, and other things, just doing songwriting. We're kind of catching up on things right now, and just a lot of different things. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but just a lot of musical different things.
Anything you're particularly excited
about? Some musicals and songwriting. Just songwriting something from the table. I've done some things with them last year. Now I'm going to bring out a Christmas song we had started to work on. So just a lot of things musically, and just kind of catching up with things and catching up with people I need to catch up with. So, just
anything
lots of stuff.
Anything that you're particularly excited about? Is there anything you're particularly excited?
Musically, here.
Okay.
What were you going to say, Lynn?
Oh, was there anything you're particularly excited about?
You're muted.
Oh, wait.
Were you?
No.
No, there you go.
Okay. And anything you're particularly excited about?
Well, let's see. Some of the musicals I'm working on. The Trump musical and other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bunch of things at the time. I'm working, doing orchestration on some films.
Yeah.
A lot of different things right now. It's interesting that, a lot of times I'm when I used to do a lot of like music copying, transcribing, and all, and then I went to mostly composing. But it's interesting because a lot of people are asking, "Oh, you help me on this? We orchestrate this."
No, Rudy, no.
So just
Cut it out.
a lot of people
Cut
on
it
a
out.
lot of different things right now, and it's mostly concentrating
Settle
on
down.
musicals.
Settle
So
down.
yeah, just being creative.
Mhm.
Okay.
Cool.
Great.
So yeah.
Okay, great. 3 cheers.
I guess that's it.
Yeah, great. So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam? Oh, you're muted. There you go.
I'm muted.
Now,
Yes.
yeah,
okay.
Jesus.
Bonnie, how's Joel doing? You said he was going through a little something. Is he all right?
Oh yeah, he's doing okay. He got to have some prostate surgery, so
Ah.
he's doing fine now.
Good. Well, thanks.
He's okay.
Good.
He wants to say hi first.
Oh, hi, Joel.
Hi,
There you are. Good.
Before you have any operation, ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
I'll tell you everything.
Yes. Jesus. Well, glad to see you up and about.
I had a prostate exam not too long ago, and I woke up 2 seconds later. I didn't feel anything.
There you
I
go.
didn't even have to recover. It was pretty miraculous. So
Wow.
They've really got this figured out now, so you can take that to the bank.
Well, there you go.
It wasn't a pain thing afterwards. It's like for weeks you're going to have a leak, so you have to go to the bathroom every 8 minutes. That's what's the problem. You can't sleep through the night.
I get it.
If you don't want to wet your bed.
Well, there you go.
And fill it with urine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There you go. Okay, Adam, a Mr.
But
Sci-Fi.
it is interesting because they have new techniques and things which are not as invasive or anything like that. So
Yes.
everything is always changing for the better. And
Yep.
New techniques.
Cool. Well, great.
I withdraw the question.
Please. Okay.
Okay, sorry, I was afraid.
Great. That's
I
fine.
would
Thanks.
say Joel is the real life. They must have based Sheldon of the Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
He just
Yes.
goes, there's no filters.
No, that's
He
fine.
just continues on. He doesn't realize. It's just,
That's fine. It's good. It's good. It's good to see both of you.
Can't withdraw presidents.
Yeah. There you go. So great. So
we have to keep it somewhat non-political.
yes.
Like I said, no filters.
Right. That's fine. That's fine. So it's good.
It's funny because he'll go up to people and he's trying to talk about this latest science thing, and I read this in Science magazine and genetics, and like Joel, everybody's not interested in that, but he doesn't get it.
That's
He
okay.
thinks everybody has that enthusiasm as he does for every little science article.
But that's okay. But enthusiasm is a lovely thing, however it's manifest. I mean, it's. I would much rather hang out with enthusiastic people, even if they're enthusiastic about things that I'm not enthusiastic about, than people who are just blasé and apathetic and inert. And
It keeps you thinking and it keeps you smiling.
yes,
So, yes.
and science actually is fascinating. I mean, I follow astronomy and physics and all sorts of different sciences, just as a layman. But it's fascinating. So, Adam, is there a Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes, we have a Bob Rich question.
Okay, Bob.
Hot off the presses.
Sure.
He wants to know, what are some examples of narrative storytelling in any medium that totally raised the bar for you more than you ever thought possible, with how enjoyable and rewarding a great story can be?
Wow. Well, certainly City on the Edge of Forever on Star Trek really left a huge mark on me. The great Harlan Ellison Star Trek episode when I was a kid. To Kill a Mockingbird is an amazing work. Ray Bradbury's works really, showed me what was possible. There's been so many things. I mean, I'm endlessly reminded of what wonders can be achieved in books and film and TV. I don't know if there's something you'd like to say about that.
No.
You love the Russian writers, Dostoevsky and Tolstoy. Chekhov, yeah, not the Star Trek character, the the writer. So yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, again, it's the things that resonate with us are the things that have an emotional truth that we recognize as an emotional truth. But of course, in science fiction, just beautiful design is its own marvelous thing. I mean, Alien and so many of those films, Blade Runner. So yeah, there's a lot of things to value and to love. So let's see. So I guess Galinda. What?
David, you missed David.
David. I'm sorry, David. I did the squares keep moving around and changing. So David, go for it, please.
Sure. You guys all know me, David Bartlett, filmmaker, teacher, and human rights activist.
Cool.
And a producer on Space Command. And we are moving forward to hurtling to a kind of finish. Mark and Elaine, Mark especially, who loves to sort of skip all the typical warnings and conventions of independent filmmaking. The current one is, don't set up a screening until your film is finished. But we're not doing that. So we're going to get it finished and show it anyway.
Yay.
But it's pretty close to being finished.
Very
In a
close.
certain way.
Yes.
So we're going to find out if that's really true.
It is true. It is true. I mean, I wouldn't.
In a Chinese theater.
Yeah, I wouldn't have scheduled it if I didn't feel certain that it was going to be, really enjoyed by people. So, but continue, please.
So, I spent 2 weeks not having a holiday. A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, says the definition of a holiday is that you have to be gone for more than 7 days. You have to see, don't do any work, and don't see any family. So, by that definition, my last holiday was in 1988.
Wow.
And this last 2 weeks was no exception. But I did get some things done, dealing with stuff with our house and our land, the inheritance and all that you guys have heard about. And there were steps forward. There was a very strange psychotic person who is being very bizarre. Oh, we got a new little thing today. This guy's put his broken down truck and his gooseneck trailer of 26 feet on my brother's property and is not leaving. He hasn't paid any rent in 6 or 7 months and never had an agreement to begin with anyway with my brother. It was all done through my sister. So today we found out that he had tried to have something mailed there to that address as if he lived there. So we are returning it unopened, return to sender, now at this address. So he's now playing weird games. He even said that the sheriff that I talked to, that I quoted with a phone number, doesn't work at that office anymore and hasn't for 2 years.
Wow.
That's how extreme the lies can be with people. Now, I kind of file all this away for future stories.
Yes.
And character traits that people have and things. I think I've got enough of them filed for a while. And I just like them to stop.
Yes.
So I dealt with stuff like that. But also, as you saw, I was hiking in the rain.
Yes.
Those of you that know that I had a little physical issue, I was hiking with a 50-pound camera.
It's great.
Doing handheld shots on a train trestle over a 200-foot span of a road. And I did pretty well.
That's great.
There's that.
Gotta walk the dog.
And
great. Okay.
Yes, Space Command screening is the big news.
Yeah.
We have, if you're interested in working on Space Command shoots in the future, we've just wrapped the final framing story shoot of episodes 3 and 4. And that's pretty exciting. That means that all that remains, and I say this with tongue in cheek, is 50 pages of the haunted house scenes. So, aside from that, everything else is shot in post and everything else. So, these are good things too. Now, let's see what else. Oh, table email. You guys are all on the table email. If you have any troubles, let me know. My email, DaveFilms, DaveBeFilms @hotmail.com. And that seems to be stable too. Everything seems to be pretty stable. And oh yeah, we still have one last pesky perk to get finished, which Adam assures me he is working on. Although I think he could work on it a little more, so it could actually be finished because it is the last one. But it's a very involved one. Marcus made a history of science fiction, which is by the decade from the silent movies all the way to the present. And it's very long and very interesting. And somebody decided it was going to be a perk on Kickstarter with a transcription.
Oh no.
So that means that Adam and Ines, our other associate, have been spending weeks now, hand by hand, word by word, transcribing hours of Mark's history of science fiction. And we're on the last one. So that's a good thing. Then they have to be proofread and formatted and it's a big project.
Do you want more help on that? I'd volunteer to do that. I'm really good at transcribing. Of course, I can't
Adam,
transcribe
yes,
using
her
notes. That's a lot harder. So transcribing, I type fast. I'm
Wow.
It's not actually it's already transcribed. It's editing the transcription.
okay, so Adam,
Yeah,
Okay.
but
striking that for the record, and Bonnie, yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
something.
reach out to me and we will get you set up.
Mhm.
One thing that we do have to do is to take all that transcription and format it so it looks like something you would want to read in a cover purpose. And there also is an interest in having some images put with them, and that's a weeks-long project under one set of circumstances. But that would be nice too. So please definitely give me a call, email me, whatever, and let's get you helping. That would be awesome.
Yay.
She's a very talented composer, but she's a very, very helpful, enthusiastic person, and she has a minivan.
Yes, she does.
So just to throw that out there. I drove
That
around.
can help.
I drove around in a what do they call these 4x4s that are shorter? They're a Ford Escape or a Ford.
SUVs, maybe?
They're SUVs, but they're not the tall SUVs. They're the shorter ones. They look like a combination of minivans and SUVs. There's
Huh.
a term for them. Anyway, that's what I rented for the last 2 weeks, and I loved it. It
Wow.
was awesome. To buy, 35 grand, but to rent, I could do it. It was fun. It was beautiful. It's what they call all-wheel drive, which means it's not really four-wheel drive, but all the wheels go, and I never got stuck once, and I drove around in Oregon. So there's that. Anyway, enough about me. What do you guys think about me? I'm signing off now, and I'll talk to you all later.
Yay. Okay, so our terriers became crazily insistent, and Mark should be back soon, but they were being fairly unrelenting. And so right now he's racing around the block with two crazy terriers. Well, one crazy terrier, the other one was having a nap. But little Rudy was being insistent. So we'll get back to Mr. Sci-Fi momentarily as soon as he gets back. So shall we go with Galinda?
Hello. I am Galinda Bruton. I live in Texas. I am aspiring to become, somebody. At the moment, let's see, to get caught up, my cousin finished out her chemo, and it's gone really, really well. And we're waiting on the next PET scan, but the last PET scan, all of the major masses were gone.
Oh, wow.
And she was down to some little bitty spots in her lung and had one more chemo left. So now all she got to do is she has to go the immunotherapy for the rest of her life, which is frustrating. I know, our medical care system being that, that being what it is, that maintenance does seem to be the way it goes. But I am glad that she's going to be with us for a bit longer.
I can mention something about that. I have a friend who in 2006 was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer and had been told there was nothing else to do. And then she also, you wouldn't know now that she has had cancer multiple times. And she takes some kind of treatment every 3 weeks. And that was 16 years ago.
Yeah,
16 years ago. It's pretty amazing. She,
it is. This is small cell lung cancer, which is very, very profoundly invasive and very difficult to beat, which is why the immunotherapy every 3 weeks to a month for the rest of her life. Well, they said as long as it keeps working. So as long as the immunotherapy keeps working. So I'm back at home right now. I'm going back up there in a week to take her to the next immunotherapy appointment, but her strength is getting better all the time. So soon she'll be taking herself. And then I get to relax and work on all of my projects, including Space Kitty's up and coming YouTube show, because this cat is way too much of a camera lover. I have never seen a cat who liked to wear clothes before, and I've never known a cat that was so aware of his reflection and his image. So I did a screen test for him the other day that's up on my YouTube channel that he loves the camera. He loves seeing his face. He loves interacting with the camera. He gets very interested in the Zoom meetings. How I could not give him a voice and put him on his channel, I don't know, because he's crying for it. He's fussing right now. So,
if you want him to talk, I can come up with a voice for him.
I need to. Yeah, I
Tell me
need
what
to.
you're thinking.
I definitely, Adam. I need to send you some video of him. I need to find a way to get him to sit up in a chair on his own. Otherwise, I got to become the chair and put something over me and it'd be the arms of the chair, which he's fine with that. But because he loves being held, he loves the attention.
Do you have a staple gun?
That's rather mean.
Yeah, he's way too cooperative for me to have to even to go that far. He's going to be way too much fun. And I think I just get him some script and get him some give him a voice but yeah, he's actually gaining a little bit of an audience just with the screen test that I put up. Okay. And I realized the other day I have video that I put up when we first got him when he was this big. And he's actually 10 years old.
Wow.
I'm like, oh wow, my cat is older than I thought he was, but he's healthy. It's been rough. The last couple of weeks because I've been caught up with taking care of my cousin, I got back here and I had time to sit and think about losing the job that I had for 8 years. And it was like pretty profound, It's like I began to realize that this was very much like leaving a relationship. Only it wasn't with one individual, it was with my entire team, with all the people that I've known for the last 8 years. And my favorite thing to do when I'm depressed is to look for someone who needs help. And the little light just came on over my head yesterday that said, you're the one that needs it right now. So tomorrow I'm taking my truck into the shop and I'm dropping a nice chunk of change. I'm getting it a full-fledged tune-up, all the bells and whistles, going to get it, So my truck should be good for me for a few more years at least before I have to do anything more major to it. And, a little bit of self-care on that note. Not exactly me personally, but my truck is my extension, is my independence. You can't really live in Texas without a vehicle. It's just really not possible to survive in Texas without a vehicle. So that'll keep going for a while. But yeah, a little bit of self-care this time. And then let's say I've got a few more trips back up there to help my cousin, but it won't be any more often. So I can kind of relax a little bit and think about what exactly I'm wanting to do with this creative bent I've got going on right now.
Well, that's great. That's really good. Had you thought of taking any kind of class or getting yourself into any kind of structure where you could get support and deadlines and really get yourself going?
I actually was thinking about taking some classes. I definitely need some video editing experience and some training in video editing and kind of working with that. I thought about taking a programming class, but I'm not so sure my brain can handle the math at this point. But again, I'm thinking about a management class.
Okay.
Well, just in case. If it comes back to, if I go back into customer support, I don't want to be one-on-one with the public. I want to be the team leader.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you're starting to drift away from feeling engaged, then we find that classes, especially things that lean on our creativity, they can be really invigorating because you get feedback. You feedback for others. It's a very supportive environment. You finish stuff, and you things that you thought that when you started you thought were worthy, but seem less worthy because you're tired when you're fixing it. Suddenly you're reminded by your teammates, your other classmates, that it was really worthy. So, if you were thinking about it, I would really encourage you to go ahead.
Yeah. So great. So, so anything else?
I'm not too far from San Marcos, and there's a good drama program at San Marcos.
Cool.
So I might even attend an acting class or two.
Sure.
Cool,
You never
that's
know where
fun.
things can lead.
Yeah, go take a class is a perfect idea.
Great.
Yeah.
I was thinking about going to the gym, but taking class would probably be more appropriate for
Yes.
me.
Yeah. Well, you could do acting scenes where you're pretending to exercise.
Yeah.
Then you get the best of both worlds, you know. So
Exactly.
yeah, actually, there's an actor who's coming to our gym lately because he's playing a role of a bodybuilder. So he has to get into amazing shape. This guy, you can see every single muscle in perfect definition. It's amazing, and it's like, well, better him than me, I'll tell you. But so, anything else, Galinda? Anything else you need?
No, just really, really glad to be here. I needed the edification, and y'all
Great.
really helped me to bring back up. I'm feeling a lot more optimistic again.
Good.
And
That's right.
appreciate you.
Yay,
Yay.
3 cheers. Well, that's good to hear. And again, for all of us, we've come through some very isolating times, and it's easy to get depressed. It's easy to get bummed out. You know, really seek out people who are positive, seek out people who are kind, you know, and then it's like having a mirror that really shows, you know, a more accurate image back, you know, of oneself.
Yeah,
So
I think I felt
Elaine.
this story before, but we
Mhm.
were in a we're doing a little speaking engagement, and there's quite a few people there, and these two people in the front corner of this fairly large audience who had come from one of the Nordic countries, and they were like concerned because they were you know, they felt like kind of like outsiders, and that they really didn't belong because they came from a whole other culture. And I said, and they didn't really know what they could add in terms of their art. And I said, okay, well, twist around and look at everybody else in the audience, because they were in the front, you know, right corner. And I said, hands. How many people in this audience have felt like outsiders and as though they don't belong? And every hand went up. Every hand in this big audience went up. And I said, well, I guess you've got something to write about. So, you know, which is just about the struggles of feeling like an outsider, but we all do. So, hey, you know, you can always find something to share.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, great. So good to see you, Galinda. There we are. So, Adam, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes.
Cool.
We're going to go with a question from Zach,
Hi, Zach.
who says, do you have any tips for writing a screenplay versus writing a novel?
Yes. A screenplay is what you see and hear. That's all. So you're not going into internal monologues. You're not going into over description of furniture, any of that. It's lean description and just, you know, it's like what people see and hear. That's it. It's a totally different medium. And so read screenplays that are successful, that have been made, you know, and are good. You know, just really study the brevity of scripts, because they're much more like haiku than anything else. They're not naturalistic writing in any way. And so, you know, it's a completely different medium, but one I really love. But yeah, completely different. Because in a book, in a novel, you're always having to figure out whose head you're in, what they're feeling internally, what they're thinking internally. That's not at all the case with screenplays. I mean, you can do voiceover, but I would limit it. And point of view, you know, it's like you have your main characters, but again, you're it's external generally. So yeah. So let's see. So now we have Michelle. Go for it. Oh yeah, Dave. What were you going to say, Dave?
By the way, I don't know if anybody mentioned this early on before I got here. Did you hear about Bill Nye the Science Guy's wedding?
No, tell me about it.
Bill Nye the Science Guy got married, and who? And I'm not talking about his wife. Who married him? Who officiated?
I don't know. Who was it?
All right, you can have one guess if it's Robert Picardo.
Maybe it was Robert Picardo.
My gosh.
That's correct.
But he's
I did not know that about Robert.
But he's a doctor, not a minister.
Go figure.
Okay, well thank you for that interesting piece of interestingness.
Oh,
So
that's interesting.
okay, cool. So now we have Michelle. Go for it, Michelle.
Let's see. First of all, thank you to Adam, who helped me do an audio tape today for an audition that maybe I'll get something out of it, but who knows. if more audio things come in, I will be consulting with all and sundry about what to get to set up some studio for myself, because I haven't done that. I would like to do it, but I don't care to make an investment at this particular point unless there's auditions coming in. And meanwhile, Adam is extremely adept at doing these things and making life seem simple, because my techie abilities tend to involve screwdrivers and hammers and staple guns and things like that, and not things of computers. So anyway, there's that. I'm going to be going to Comic-Con.
Oh, good.
Not for myself, but for the fact that my husband my late husband, I should say, is receiving an award.
Oh, great.
And those of you who are Comic-Con people, I will be sending out a blast to everybody on the email about what this is. He is going to be getting the Bill Finger Award, and I did not know who Bill Finger was, and I'm seeing people nodding all over the place.
Yes.
Bill Finger was apparently, for those of you who don't know, was actually the guy who created Batman, not Bob Kane. And in lawsuits and problems later is being recognized for that. And so the Bill Finger Award is going to be given to people who were not adequately recognized in their lifetimes for their contributions to things to do with comics. And those of you who've seen Marvel things on TV or in movies may have seen a credit for Don Rico, who was my late husband.
Wow.
And one of the creators of Black Widow, and a number of other things. So I will be, our son and I will be receiving the award and saying nice things.
That's great.
That will be towards the end of July.
That's terrific.
That's the exciting stuff. And the rest of life and times is, fixing the car and cleaning up after the cat who has decided to think out of the box. And, the tremendous excitement of living in Hollywood that involves laundry and paying for gasoline.
The one thing I wanted to say, Michelle, is it's good because there's a big difference between getting the Don Finger Award and just getting the finger. So
I could depend on you. That when a potential straight line is there.
Yep. Absolutely. But I actually have long known who Don Rico was, and I'm really glad that he's getting the award. I'm really glad that you'll be there to recognize that. So, and David, by the way, you might want to mute David. There you go. Yeah. Go ahead, Michelle.
He had gotten was one of the founders of CAPS, which was Comic Arts Professional Society.
Wow.
And Mark Evanier and Sergio Aragonés.
Yes.
And he had received the proper, I can't remember what it's, the Inkpot Award for them, and a great deal of recognition in other ways, but this is the big one. And I haven't been to a Comic-Con since it was a little bitty fun family thing in the El Cortez Hotel.
Yeah, it's still a little fun thing. Just it's just small. It's only a few hundred people, and it's not a nightmare. So don't worry about it. It's
only a few 100,000.
Yeah.
They have guaranteed us hotel rooms, and that's the only thing I'm concerned about.
That's great.
I'm too old to sleep in the car.
Yes. The one thing you might want to do is look over the list of the guests who are going to be there, because probably a lot of people that you knew in the old days will actually be there. I mean, I see Mark Evanier, those kind of guys will be there.
Well, I see Mark all the time.
Oh, really? Huh.
I'm friends with Stout, and I'm on the on Facebook with Trina Robbins and a lot of
cool.
And a lot of the old timers.
Oh, cool.
And not old timers at that point.
Yes.
I look forward to it, and that's kind of going to be my excitement for July, unless there's work.
Yeah. Well, 3 cheers! Yay! Congratulations. So, anything else you need, Michelle, or is that's it for now?
I will be beating the bushes for a new agent.
Great.
Because I don't have one anymore,
and
we'll see how that works. So I am open to anybody who would care to recommend me to their agency and say, I know somebody who could do stuff. because I can do stuff.
Great. Well, 3 cheers. Yay. So, Adam, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes, we have a Kevin Scott 76
Cool.
question.
Hello, Kevin.
Says, I've always been fascinated by dreams, and I've gotten pretty good at controlling them sometimes.
Oh, good.
What have either of you written for dreams being a big part of the story?
That's an interesting question. Oof. I'd have to look over my credits. It's like I don't, off the top of my head, I don't remember. Though certainly dreams are a powerful narrative tool. Though you have to be careful of the cliches where people wake up from the being murdered or whatever. I hate the cheat in Aliens. It's one of my favorite movies, but boy, that thing where the weird thing about Aliens is that the information conveyed in the dream before the chest burster bursts out of her in the hospital room is the information received is accurate, even though the dream is totally, just a dream. So it's very strange, but and a total cheat. But yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Nothing springs to immediate mind. So now we get to Ben and Emily. Hi, Ben and Emily.
Hello.
And Ben, I know you called me. Sorry, it's been crazy busy now, but I think what you were calling about, is that something Dave Edison can do?
I got to thank you so much.
Yeah.
I got in touch with Dave, and Dave, I want to thank you.
Good.
For the people you put me in contact with here. They did exactly what I needed done.
Good.
I spent a whole year, man, trying to get this done, and you just solved it for me with that one phone call.
Great.
Great. And Adam, I'm really looking forward to getting with you. The last time I was an engineer was at Marvin Gaye back in 75, 76, so the 24 track. This new digital stuff, I don't even know what it's about, man. So I'm gonna be looking forward to work with you. And thank you so much, both of you. And what Bonnie and I is gonna do, she's gonna be at her house and I'm gonna be at my house, and we're gonna sit at the piano and do the string arrangement. So we're gonna need your help teaching us how to make the cameras work or whatever. But I'll be in touch with you, and thank all of you so much.
Great. Okay. Cheers. Okay. Good to see you both, as always. So Adam, is there a Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes. Let's go to. We have a question from Mr. Awake to Me, who says, how many episodes of Space Command do you plan on making?
The first season is 12 hours, and so far we're shooting the 6th hour now. Our plan is to shoot the other 6 this year, and so and beyond that we'll see. I mean, it's we also have the 5 shows of the other 5 shows of the Showrunners Network to get to as well. So there's a lot on our plate at the moment, but we've been ramping up, and we're really ready to rock and roll. So there's a lot coming your way if you're a fan of Space Command, as everyone should be. So it's really fun, really fun. But I think we need to record one line of Ethan McDowell against green screen, and then we'll have the entire first hour of this 2-hour story we're shooting now completed. So go ahead. Someone was saying something. Did someone say something? No. Okay. And but yeah, so there's a lot coming very, very soon. So okay, so now I guess it's Elaine. Wonderful. Yay. Elaine, go for it, Elaine.
Well, beyond the anniversary on Saturday, we've been keeping very, very busy.
Yes.
Finishing up, and it's extremely helpful and energizing to be working with a team.
Yes.
Because whereas you may be thinking, I'm tired, I don't, you know that the rest of the team is waiting for your piece of the action.
Mm-hmm.
And because everybody is being held up because each team member has to wait for another team member's piece of the action, it really helps motivate, and when you're feeling a little tired, helps inspire you.
Uh-huh.
And so we've been doing a lot of that in finishing things up and in working together and having, today we were down on the set and we were working with a couple of our creative visual. Well, our
yeah, I posted a video on Mr. Sci-Fi of it. Yeah,
yes,
it's great fun.
Our creature maker, who's also a scene maker.
Yes.
And we were crafting the material, working with them, and they were lifting it up, and we were helping to get people excited. And so that's why I always suggest things like classes or anything that you can do to be in a group when it's this hard. some of the real juice and excitement and fun is just being part of a team of people who think that it's so much fun and just so cool to be inventive and to do what they're doing. And if anybody that you're working with does not get excited going to work, does not think it's cool, given how hard the work is, it's a really good idea to shed them. Really good idea to shed them.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing as energizing and inspiring in terms of your own feeling as people who just love being there, and they're your fellow creatives. So it's been a pretty good week.
So is there anything you need?
Money?
Well, we're also looking for an actress to play the prophet.
Yes.
So
that's it. We have some very good. We need the prophet. Now the thing about
this
the
is a
prophet-
character in the 6th hour Space Command that we're going to be shooting. Go ahead.
So she's a lead character, but her arc, she begins and ends with this one episode.
Right, and the actor should be 18 to early 20s at most. Very ethereal, very almost fragile, but with a very great inner strength and intellect.
Well, the thing is,
she's leading a religious community.
She's somebody who seems very gentle and ethereal, and is very gentle and ethereal, but she is so passionate. She has such passionate belief in the basic kindness and goodness and decency of other people, that's what allows her to become a prophet. Because she really sees the best in everybody and just draws it out, and she's absolutely unshakable and passionate in that belief, in that kindness and forgiveness and seeing the best in people will bring out the best, and it does. But we need someone who's very ethereal, who just and where you at first she seems almost fragile, but then you see that fierce belief in kindness. And so it doesn't it's better if she's a bit younger, but race is absolutely not race specific. So we're looking for that very special combo, and we've gotten some good actors, but not the actor for that role yet.
Right. So we're open to suggestions and
very well
so forth. Yeah. So okay, great. 3 cheers. Yay, Elaine. Yay. So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Let's see. I don't know if it's a particularly a Mr. Sci-Fi question or whether it's just a general question in the chat.
Okay.
But Scott Baker wants to know, do most dogs like shrimp?
I don't know. I don't have shrimp very often, so I don't give it to dogs. I assume most dogs like shrimp, if it's not spoiled.
At the dog park, didn't somebody say that he was going to share his shrimp with his
Yes,
dog?
his shrimp scampi.
Yeah.
But but okay. But there you go. So okay, so now I guess it's.
Well, I should just say that when I say I need money,
yes,
it's to get the Voiceless Roar up and about.
Her ensemble feature.
Yes, which has many table people.
Right.
We'll have many more. But if anybody knows anyone who would like to invest, we're trying to get that sucker off the ground, and we have it at $1 million for everything, all in, including the festivals. So we're trying to money gather. So if anybody knows anybody who wants a piece about the regaining of the American dream, which is currently under great threat, let me know. Okay, I'm sorry. Please, your turn.
Okay, 3 cheers, yay, Elaine. So so it's me. Everything's coming up roses. I mean, we as David and Dave mentioned, we're almost done with the first 2 hours of Space Command, 1900 visual effect shots. It's really cool. The scope of it is amazing. The actors are phenomenal. Mira Furlan, Bill Mumy, Robert Picardo, and of course the great Doug Jones, Ethan McDowell, just on and on, Bruce Boxleitner. I'm very proud of it, as we all should be who've worked on it over all this time. We also did the 2-hour bonus episode during the pandemic, and now we're doing hours 5 and 6, and we're prepping the Great Solar War, the next one. So lots of really cool stuff. It's very exciting. And then we also have the prequel and the graphic novel and the radio play and the short story and all this stuff. I've sent issue number 2 of Space Command Comics off to the printers, so just waiting to get the copies sent to us. The Blu-rays and the DVDs for the first 2 hours are about to go off to the fabricator, the guy to make them, and then we'll send them out to everyone who's ordered them. It's amazing. And I'm going to be speaking at the Rod Serling Festival in Binghamton, New York in August. and we have the screening at the Chinese theater. The reason I made the screening at the Chinese theater is, you know, if most people out in the world were asked to name one movie theater, one famous movie theater, it would be the Chinese theater, Grauman's Chinese. And I thought, well, if we're going to have a premiere, I want it to be at someplace meaningful. And so that's why it's the Chinese. And, you know, rather than, you know, Ed's movie theater, you know, and hot dog stand or whatever, which actually sounds pretty cool when you think about it. But so we're doing that, and we're just, I mean, life is extremely exciting. I mean, I have no complaints. With the Greenlighting Yourself, the book is out. You can get it on Amazon or wherever. I just gave it to a friend of mine who I see in the gym. He's the head of Roadside Attractions, which is a very good, very high quality indie film company. And he's very eager to read it. I quote him in it, and so that's really fun. That's really fun, and you know, so I can't wait for the premiere. I think it's going to be a really great event. And then then the next, you know, a few days after that, we're shooting the first part of the Alien spaceship, what we call the haunted house, and can't wait, and it all keeps going. You know, we're doing it. My goal this year, because when, you know, our plan every year previously, we've gone to Comic-Con, we've had a big panel and screening and all that. And I didn't want to do that this year. This year is about completing the, you know, what we've promised to people, what people have put money down for, what people have pledged for. We're going to get that all done and more, you know, and more. A lot of what's been going on has been me building the infrastructure, the design aesthetic and the infrastructure to shoot the entire first season. And that's where we are right now. And so we have the sets, we have the props, we have the actors, we have the costumes, we have everything. And, you know, so I think this is going to be an amazing time. And we have a bunch of stuff that we haven't edited yet that we've shot, and that's the next task.
Yep.
Dave Edison is just, he can't wait. Dave is just chomping at the bit.
Well, what's
you know?
good is we've got really good actors.
Oh yeah,
really solid.
Oh
actors.
yeah,
So
oh yeah,
that's kind of fun to edit together. Because
yes,
you know, you're going to get something lovely out of it.
Yeah, and so life is really exciting and really cool, and I'm very grateful. And Saturday, as I mentioned, is our 45th anniversary. That's going to be wonderful too. And you know, life is just all beer and Skittles, as they say. And so that's about it for now. I'm, you know, all of our investors we're inviting to the premiere, all of our actors, of course, you know, our crew, and you know, and my friends in the industry if they you know, wanting to come. So that's about it for now. Unless anyone has any questions, I think that kind of covers it.
Yeah.
So and we're actively trying to find a restaurant to have the table. So Judith's going to contact Denny's. We can talk to a few restaurants. We know, again, price is a factor. We don't want it to, like, for instance, there's a restaurant called Spartina near us, but it's very expensive. We want it to be somewhere where people can order a sandwich for just a few bucks or whatever. We don't want
salad.
Yeah, and for many years we didn't even require people to order food. It just got to a point where it was untenable, you know, and so that was. But
we would have to either pay a lot for the space or have people eat.
But I think it's really important to be getting together communally, breaking bread. And so it's not, you know, again, as I've said often, the table is a community, not an organization. And that's why we don't charge membership fees. That's why, you know, we don't, you know, have table productions, you know, it's to help everyone and support everyone. And beyond that, you know, nothing. So, you know, but we've been going for 30 years. It's amazing. 30 as of the January, it'll be 30 years we've been doing the table. So that's pretty amazing. So yep. So anything else from anyone? I think we've covered what we needed to cover tonight. And you know,
A wonderful anniversary.
Thank you so much. And it's really lovely. And you know, life is really great. So yes, Michelle, did you have something to say, or just waving?
Yeah, a coffee shop of sorts out on either Olive or Alameda. I believe it's called Frank's. Has anybody looked into that?
No.
It's on the, I know it's on the south side of the street. It's toward Burbank.
Great.
I will have to see it when I go out there
Cool.
in that direction. I mentioned to Adams today.
Yes, it's right near the 5. It's near Victory.
Hmm.
The problem with Frank's is I don't think it's a real restaurant. I think it's just used for shooting most times. Is it actually a going restaurant?
I thought it was. It's one of those things where I've seen it. It's one of those things where I've seen it.
Well, we can look into it. So thanks.
Online says it's. Online says.
Oops, Bonnie, I'm sorry. What were you saying? I didn't catch what you said, Bonnie.
Online, it looks like it's only used for filming, and right now it's just temporarily closed.
Yeah, so we would just be eating like plastic food or something. Yeah, no, we don't want to eat plastic food. Okay, well, we'll keep searching.
Well,
I want,
anything that you come up with, we'll look into it.
Yes, and that's about it for now. So thanks everybody. It's great to see you all as ever. You look very lifelike, and we'll see you next time, guys. Take care. Stay safe. Bye. Bye, everybody. And bye, my Mr. Sci-Fi friends. Talk soon. Bye. Okay, good.